Hi guys and gals, today we're going to talk about a great exercise for developing your chest. It's specifically good for people who really have weak forearms. Now, whether you're doing a bench press or you're doing a fly or you're doing a cable crossover or any type of chest exercise, you're using your forearm a lot. But there are a few exercises that are really good for you if your forearm is not that much strong, so you do not need to hold anything heavy, and you can rest your forearm and you can just fatigue your chest to the maximum exertion. Now, for doing this exercise, all you need is 2 plates, and believe it or not, you really need to not clench your fist while doing this exercise. Your fingers should go out and you should try to just spread your fingers as much as you can. So there is not gonna be that much of a forearm activation, and it's also not gonna get the help of your tricep like other exercises like bench press or inclined dumbbell press as well. So you're gonna isolate the chest a lot, and you're also getting the help of the shoulder as well. There are also variations that you can do with this exercise. I'm gonna go through them. So you're gonna specifically target different fibers in your chest muscle. So it's gonna activate your entire pectoralis major muscle all the way from the abdominal insertion to your collarbone. So without further ado, I'm just gonna show you the exercise and then go through the details and tell you what are the step-by-step structures for this exercise. Now the name of this exercise is plate squeeze. It might go with other names as well, but the most well-known name is plate squeeze. And what you're basically doing is you're holding 2 plates and you're pushing them with the bottom of your palm, so there's not going to be any kind of finger involvement. So this is not right. You should just spread your fingers out. It should just be with your palm. So here, and even better if you can just bring it down so it's your palm and just top of your wrist. It's gonna be a lot more activation from the chest, and because you have to resist the plates from going down or just sliding on each other, you should just push them really hard together. But there are some mistakes people make. First of all, they just bend the elbow too much, so they do this. This is just gonna affect mostly the biceps, so you're not gonna target the chest too much. It's gonna affect the muscles in this area like brachialis, brachioradialis, and your bicep brachii. So for you to target the chest more, make sure you bring it forward. You shouldn't go all the way straight as well. Make sure there is a little bit bend in the elbow, but keep it that way. So do not bend it too much. Go a little bit further, so extend the elbow a little bit further. Again, make sure it's on your wrist or your palm. If you're just starting this exercise, it's okay for you to understand the technique by using your fingers as well. But make sure as you progress, you do not go heavier. Try to spread the fingers. You should not lift heavy with this exercise. Believe it or not, the most professional bodybuilders do not even go further than, I don't know, 10 kilograms, 15 kilograms, because you cannot just resist it from coming down. And specifically if you use 3 plates, that's gonna be a little bit harder because then you're gonna control 3 plates as well, but that's when you progress a little bit further. For now, just make sure you just use 2, or if you're really beginner and it's just hard for you to control two as well, just use one. But make sure you squeeze that one plate really hard. So make sure you do that. Also, how much you should flex and extend your shoulder. Now that comes to the variation you're using. But normally if you're just standing up, so your torso is vertical to the ground, you should come from somewhere around this degree all the way up here and again back. So anywhere from here to here, the resistance is really low. Also from here to here, not only the resistance is low, but it's a little bit dangerous because it's on top of your head. So make sure the range of motion, the angle you do the exercise, is the range that's affecting your chest. If you do not feel the resistance, then it means that the range of motion is just a little bit too much. So this is for when you're standing up. And as you can see, you can target the muscles, the fibers in lower chest all the way to the upper chest. But if you want to be a little bit more specific, if you want to target the lower fibers more, you can just go and use a bench. So you're gonna angle the bench a little bit up, you're gonna lay back, and you're gonna squeeze these plates, bring them up here, back, down, up, back. Not because you're angled, and again you've got to consider everything with the gravity of the ground. So because of that, when I make the weight parallel to the ground and a little bit even lower than parallel, I'm still feeling it. So as long as I'm not holding the weight vertically to the ground, I'm still feeling it. So with this variation, I can feel it from here to here. But that's the opposite of what you can do when you're standing. So when you're standing here to here, there is not going to be that much of a resistance. The resistance is from here to here. Now, this was for the lower fibers. If you want to affect the fibers in the upper part of your chest, you can either bring the bench a little bit higher and just lean and do the exercise, or just do not use a bench and again squeeze them hard, push your hip back, up, down, and that's gonna target the fibers of your collarbone more. Just make sure you do not bring the shoulder too much forward. So bringing the shoulder too much forward is just gonna restrict the activation of your chest, and it's just gonna use more the front delt. So do not force it back either. It might move a little bit when you're doing the exercise, but make sure it is unintentional. So you should not move the shoulder front and back when you get tired. Just to give you an overall guide, make sure you do not exaggerate protraction or retraction of the shoulder blade. So just make sure you're comfortable with it. And again, if you wanted to make it more challenging, try using 3 plates. So 3 plates that are really light are gonna be more challenging than 2 plates that are heavier. When you go heavy, you tend to just break the elbow and just use a lot of muscles in your arm. But when the weight is light and the stability is the factor, so you're using 3 plates or even 4 plates, you need to squeeze a lot harder to resist them from falling down. And although it's not gonna be that much heavy, but just mentally you know that you have to control 4 plates compared to 2 plates that are heavier, or 1 really heavy plate which is just gonna be the majority of the work is gonna be done with the front deltoid compared to your chest.